Okay, now as I had previously told, after my experience at Bangalore, where I had decided that I am not fit in for the regular 9 to 5 job, and my stint in Sulurpet as a teacher, which you have already heard. Now I thought somehow I have to be in Chennai. That was at that time it was Madras. Chennai, the name had not come, so I had to go to Madras. And the only person with whom I wanted to work was Mr. K.V. Reddy, because after seeing his Potana, even in my school days, the impression was so big and so hard that I was fascinated by that person. Somehow I did not know how he looks and all that. Subsequently, I had met him during the college days.
మొదటి నుంచి తనకి సినిమాలో ఉండాలి, సినిమానే చెయ్యాలి, ఈ ఉద్యోగం ఇవి వద్దని తనకి. మా అత్తగారు సినిమా అంటావేమిట్రా వద్దురా అనేది. అట్లాగే ఈయన సినిమాలో చేరేటప్పటికి ఆమె లేదు, చెవులో కూడా వేసుకోలేదు. ఏమంటే ఆయన అమ్మ వేషం వేయడమ్మా, టెక్నికల్గా పోతాడు, నీవెందుకు అని మావారు ఎంతో చెప్పేవాళ్ళు. అయినా ఆమెకి ఏందో అది ఆ సినిమా అంటే అంత ఇష్టపడేది కాదు. దానికి మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, ఆమె మెదడికి అది ఏం తట్టేదు.
So at last I came to Madras, and my uncle, that is my mother's elder sister's husband, Mr. D. Bhima Rao, he was the Postmaster General of Madras. At that time he was the PMG of the 4 states, composite state, Madras, Andhra, Karnataka and Kerala. So he was the PMG for all this. So he had a house, he was my uncle, so I was staying there. And I thought I could stay there and meet Mr. K.V. Reddy now and then. And first time I met Mr. K.V. Reddy, he explained to me all the problems of the film industry. It's very risky, you will not know, not all people who come here are successful. Majority of people are not successful. They may be very talented and all, but still it will be very difficult. So he dissuaded me a lot, but still I was persisting. Once in 2 weeks or so I used to meet. And at that time there was a job open in that postal audit. It was called, it's the postal audit in Commander-in-Chief's Road, near where the Ghatothkach College is there, the Connemara Hotel and all that. So I applied, and there were about 3,000 candidates for 10 posts, and now I was second in that ranking. I got the job. It was a clerical job, it was a small job, and immediately I got the letter and all that, and I told Mr. K.V. Reddy, sir, I got this job, shall we do that, and or shall I want to wait so that you can take me? No, immediately take the job, because even if you wait it will take time, and anyway immediately you will not be getting any salary or anything like that. You may be learning so many things. So nothing like having a job, and whenever you have time you can be coming here and seeing whatever is there. I will see what happens. You immediately take the job. So I took the job, and once I took the job I did not want to stay with my uncle, because it will be difficult for me. I may be going out somewhere, I may be eating somewhere and all that. So I found a room in Singaracharya Street, Triplicane. The small room upstairs is in Nalathanimmal Street. It's a very small place, it's a small room. It's still exactly like that room. And there I took a room, and one Mr. Krishnamurthy, he was working in Higginbotham's. He was my roommate, and again another person called Mr. Rajgopal, who was in the India, some scientific instruments manufacturing company. He was there. We were all very good friends. Apart from my old college friends, Mr. Ganapati Rao and Mr. Pampapati Rao, they were all continuing their studies. Mr. Pampapati Rao was doing research, further research. Mr. Ganapati Rao was doing for his post graduation, all that. So they were all there. So it was very interesting, and from there I used to walk. It was a long distance, right from Triplicane up to Commander-in-Chief's Road, right to come to that Triplicane tramway. There was trams those days. There was a tramway, and then cross it and go to that. I used to walk and back. This I was walking mainly because of economic conditions, because bus, oh, I can do, it will be just enough for me to meet the expenses, but I will not be having enough money to see the movies at that time. The theatres at that time, exactly as in the college, main was the New Elphinstone, Casino, Midland, Odeon and Minerva. These were the places where Hollywood movies were made. We were not so much interested in the South Indian movies, probably a few Indian movies, Hindi movies, especially Shantaram's movies. That is all. Later, Mr. Raj Kapoor's movies came. But essentially, we were doing for Hollywood movies, Alfred Hitchcock, and among actors, Danny Kaye, Bob Hope, Red Skelton, those comedies, and Ronald Colman, Ingrid Bergman, all these people. So they were all actors, and we used to go there. And every evening, we used to walk to the theatres with the friends and all that, come back. And my favorite music singer and director, S. Rajeswar Rao, with whom he sang our Balasaraswati, she was in that Bells Road, and she was upstairs, and we used to cross that road and street, and we used to look at that, and we used to sing her songs and all that, so that she may wake late in the night and say they have, her fans are there. All those things were there. And there was that place called Murugan Lodge, where we had to have vegetarian food for 50 paisa. 50 paisa was the actual meal, and you can't sip the water. You have to take the tumbler out and drink. They are very strict, very orthodox, and you have to square throughout. It was all plantain leaves, but it was very neat food and all that. So it continued my parallel lines. On one side, postal audit as a clerk, and there is a time when I used to meet Mr. K. V. Reddy once in a while. And as this was going on, Mr. K. V. Reddy one day, suddenly he said, I thought he wanted to test me, and he said, I want to give you a job. There is Oliver Goldsmith's She Stoops to Conquer, a very, very interesting 18th century play. You adapt it to Telugu for a film. You write your own screenplay. Totally it should be our version, but the basic plot is that. You do that. It was a great surprise, and I was very happy. Immediately I will do it, sir. So I immediately went to Higginbotham's, bought the book, read it once or twice, and I started making scenic order of my own, and it took me 2-3 months. So on one side, I was involved in working out my own screenplay of an adaptation of She Stoops to Conquer. I did not know what a screenplay was. I did not know how to develop a story, but only from seeing the films and all that. So how some Indian films where the music will be there, songs will be there, the sentimental drama will be there, humor. Only by seeing films I was developing in my own way, absolutely no technique on that. So on parallelly, I was also having this postal audit. I had this impact of some art, music especially. There were a lot of music concerts in December in Music Academy. Now today in Chennai there is a big hall of Music Academy. At that time they did not have a hall. In PS High School they used to have a separate pendal where stalwarts like Mr. Madhur Mani Iyer, Semangudi Srinivasa Iyer, and T.R. Mahalingam and some Ravi Shankar, they used to come and perform, and we did not have enough money to see the performances. But fortunately some of our friends, they had all these Boy Scouts as the people in the gate to collect tickets. So all our friends were there in the Boy Scouts, they are in the Boy Scouts. So we used to stand there opposite. So once about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, some people, elderly people, they had the tickets, but they were not, they used not to come because they were tired or something, or some other work they had. After about 15-20 minutes, when they find that there were empty chairs, immediately they used to beckon. So we used to barge into that hall, and we listened all those performances. Especially I was a great fan of both Madurai Mary and T.R. Mahalingam. T.R. Mahalingam, wonderfully he played one day in Mylapore festival, where he was supposed to come At about 8:30 or 9 o'clock, he didn't come at all. 10, 11, 11:30 we waited. At last somebody picked him. He was about to go to Bombay Mail somewhere, to Bangalore Mail, and they brought him. We were waiting there. It was drizzling also. And as he started, as soon as he came, he started with what usually Pavamana Sutudu, that the end Mangalam song he started. They were all shouting. Finally, till about 3 o'clock, 3:30, he went on playing brilliantly. That was T.R. Mahalingam. All those things. And apart from that, there was Yehudi Menuhin, the great violinist. He came and played in Annamalai Hall. And then we had people, though I have seen lot of plays, I saw Mr. Sthanam Narasimha Nara, and who played Satyabhama in Sri Krishna Tulabharam. It's a wonderful experience. The way he played Merazala Galada, the song, all that was extremely good experience on one side. But at the same time, this She Stoops to Conquer adaptation also was going on in time. All this along with the postal audit work. The comfort in the postal audit work, when I could do all this work, because there was the chief, he was the ADG, Assistant Director General, he was the top of the person. It seems he is a very philanthropic man, he is a very strict man. They said that there are about 600 jobs, and he applied to Delhi that there are about 3,000 jobs, vacancies are there, unless so many people are filled, it will not be sufficient, the work will not be over. They immediately granted it, and there are 3,000 posts. That is why I got in. Now, actually, his idea is so many people, graduates after SSLC, that was the minimum qualification, they are all jobless. Why? If they increase the number of vacancies, there are so many people jobless. Actually, it is a job for only 600. So, another 2,400 people were added, and finally, we find so much of little work and so many people. So, by about the office used to count about 9:30. By 10:30, 11, when Mr. Nagasamy used to come on inspection, everything is over. So, total day we were free. We were just chit-chatting. Some people went to Georgetown, they had a cloth business, somebody used to make tea. Like that, lot of people are making side business, such as the way they are doing. So, I had my cinema passion, so I was doing all this work. And at that time, so I had finished the She Stoops to Conquer, and with that book, with all the songs, lyrics completely written, with all dialogues written in Telugu. So, I went to Mr. K. V. Reddy and gave him the book. Sir, I have finished. The very fact that I have finished, he was very appreciative, because what he said is, what I appreciate in you is, it is not how well you did it or how good or bad it is, but the fact is, having taken up a job, good or bad, you saw to it that you finished it, and you said I have finished it. That is important. So, whatever job you take, you have to pursue it and finish it. I am very glad about it. Anyway, I will see that. So, he went there and asked me to come after 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I went there. He told me he liked it very much, the performance was good. Of course, as an amateur, you do not know much of screenplay anyway, but at your level, at whatever you know, you have done very well. Some of the scenes are very good, very innovative, some lyrics also are good. And it seems even Mr. Pingali Nagendra Rao, the writer, also appreciated those things. And you meet me sometime next month. So, I was very happy that the hopes of getting into the film industry came. Then I went there after 2-3 weeks, and he told Mr. Srinivasa Rao, now Vijaya Productions are planning a film, it is called Maya Bazaar. So, you please come and join. Let us see what exactly is the method, when you have to come, what are the timings, I will tell you. You come, all details I will tell you. They are planning Maya Bazaar. I was highly elated. So, next week I went, and exactly at that morning 9 o'clock I said, and he said, you come and sit down, and he said, Mr. Srinivasa Rao, within 1 week you got an experience what a lot of people with years of experience they will not give. What is it, sir? He said, I told you, you will be getting into Maya Bazaar, isn't it? Now the news is that Maya Bazaar is cancelled, they are not doing it. So that was the experience. So in film industry, first thing you have to learn is, you think something will happen, mostly it will not happen, and some unexpectedly something will happen. This you have learnt within a week, he said. I was a bit disappointed, but I do not know what reasons Maya Bazaar was cancelled. Later, after getting into industry, I knew, because the producers had some doubt about the script, Mr. Nagireddy and Chakrapani, so they put it in abeyance. Then again I met him after 2 weeks or 1 month, and he said, okay, don't worry, instead of Maya Bazaar, for a long time Mr. A. Nageshwar Rao and Mr. D. Madhusudan Rao, producer, they have been approaching me to make a film for them, and I have been saying yes. I have not said okay. Finally I have said okay. That film is called Donga Ramudu, that is in Telugu. So instead of Maya Bazaar, though you are supposed to come first as Maya Bazaar, you start working in Donga Ramudu. It is finalized, no problem. Only thing is, you do not know anything about the film industry. You do not know any technique, nothing. You have worked with nobody. So I cannot recommend you to a producer for a salary. So this film, you just be observing what exactly happens. You cannot even touch any particular thing. You will be observing. They will not allow you also to do anything there. At least you get some sort of a feel of the entire industry, how it works. And there won't be any salary, there won't be any title. This is what he said. I said yes. So I was dreaming that the moment he came, I am taking you, I will be resigning my job in postal audit and I will be joining. The moment he said this, again back to the postal audit, I said, I had enough time. I was continuing in postal audit and I started working in Mr. Donga Ramudu.
చిగురాకులలో తిలకమ్మ చిన్న మాట వినరావమ్మ
మరుమల్లెలలో మావయ్య మంచి మాట సెలవీవయ్యా.
Before I entered the Donga Ramudu Annapurna Pictures, because KV Reddy thing, at the time when I joined the postal audit department, and I was meeting KV Reddy every week and trying to get a job under him. It is at that time my mother was becoming very sick, and at that time, and probably it must be on the early 1955 or late 1954, that is the time she was becoming very sick, and I was in the postal audit and I used to visit her now and then.
ఏమైంది ఆ రోజు పొద్దున?
ఆమె ఇట్లాగే ఇక్కడ కూర్చొని భగవద్గీత చదువుతూ కూర్చో ఉన్నారు. మా అమ్మ అప్పుడే కాఫీ తీసుకొచ్చి ఇచ్చింది. మా అమ్మ కాఫీ ఇస్తే తాగింది. తాగేటప్పుడు ఇంకా కొంచెం సేపటికి అట్లాగే అంటే మా పెద్దవాడు అట్లాగే పట్టుకొని ఇట్లాగే పడుకోబెట్టేశారు. అట్లా ఫిట్స్ రాచి అది మూడోసారి. మొదట సూళ్ళూరుపేటలో వచ్చింది, చాలాసేపు వచ్చేసి పడుకునేశారు. మొన్నాడు కానీ లేదు. తర్వాత పెద్ద సీన్ పెళ్ళప్పుడు వచ్చేసింది, అది రెండోసారి, ఇది మూడోసారి. మా వాడు అక్కడే పడుకోబెట్టేశాడు. మా నారాయణరావు భార్య అయ్యవారు వాళ్ళందరూ వచ్చేసారు, పడిపోయిందని అట్లాగే పడుకోబెట్టారు. కదిలిస్తే ఇంకా ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది. అట్లాగే అయిన తర్వాత కొంచెం అయిన తర్వాత తీసుకొచ్చి మంచం మీద పడుకోబెట్టారు. అంటే ఆ పడక లేయలేదు. మొన్నాడు అంటే ఇప్పుడే తెలివి వస్తున్నది అన్నారు మీ అప్ప. తెలివి వస్తుంది, అట్లాగే వచ్చేది కూడా రాలే. ఇంకొంచెం సేపటికి ఈయన కిష్టావ్ గారు వచ్చేసి చేయి చూసి రామచంద్రరావు అయిపోయింది అని చెప్పారు.
And that was the end. Lot of suffering. My father was there and all that. It was a sad day. Then the first thing I could see was that, of course, my mother was not there, but she was not there to see me enter the film field. So she passed away before I entered the film field. So, the Dongaramudu, some interesting things regarding the music composing. Mr. Pendyal Nageswara was the music director, and in those days, Susila had just entered the field. She was upcoming, she was becoming popular. In those days, they used to come from 10 to 15 days every day to the studio and practice the songs. So there is a song called Anuragama Virisena, and she came about 15 days, and the people, the director Mr. K.V. Reddy said that this song may be a bit too slow, we have some more alternative song. Then they sang about 3 or 4 different tunes. But what decided thing was not Mr. K.V. Reddy's or producer's decision. The next neighbor, there was in a house in Bagiritamal Street. The neighbor, there were some ladies in the upstairs flat where they were all very, very interested in music. They had a very good taste of music, and whenever this Anuragama Virisena was being played, all these people used to come to that balcony and listen. For other songs they were not coming, they was just copying. So they used to sing so many other songs and again come to this Anuragama Virisena, they used to come. This they observed, and then so many people were coming, why we take a decision? So this is the decision, this song is okay. So that was how this was finalized, and one of the most beautiful songs in that picture.
అనురాగము విరిసేనా ఓరే రాజా అనుతాపము తీరేనా విను వీధి నేలే రాజువే నిరుపేద చెలిపై మనసౌన అనురాగము విరిసేనా ఓరే
So once I got into the Dongaramudu, when I saw Mr. Nageshwar Rao, Relangi, Savitri, so quite good experience. More than that, the atmosphere of a floor, the flavor of it, the smell of it, the dust, the atmosphere, usually once it becomes fascinating. You will not be able to leave that floor and that noise and the dust and all that. Such will be the fascination, and I was enjoying, thanks to that postal audit where I had lot of leisure. At times I used to go on leave, medical leave or loss of pay, but most of the time there was no work. I used to go away, and I was watching all that, and it is that time I became quite friendly with the writer of that film, Mr. D.V. Narsaraju. This was all happened in 1954, from 1954. This was what I met him, that just Peddamanushulu was released, and after that all this was happened, and subsequently the Dongaramudu was released in 1955. But I was continuing in the same Singarachari Street, and naturally I was having a job, a postal audit job. Nobody was except my family, my father and mother and my family people. Nobody knew that I was trying for a film film job. So probably they have thought there is an eligible bachelor, though I was not thinking of it. Very interesting thing happened when I was in the room. One gentleman came, was a father of 9 daughters, and he came as a proposal for the eldest daughter. And my friend Mr. Krishnamurthy, who was working in Higginbotham's, is a very religious type of person, and he used to go to regularly every week to Pondicherry to put Aurobindo Ashramam, and he had lot of pictures of deities all over the wall. I had nothing to do with that. I was not having film thing except small books on film which was on the floor, because we did not have any furniture except a mat. And that gentleman thought I was the only person at that time. Mr. Krishnamurthy had gone out to the office or somewhere. He thought I had all these photographs, and he started telling me that his daughter was very religious, sir. She is very religious. She goes to temple every day and all that. I listened. I said, first of all, sir, I am not interested in any sort of marriage now, because when he first met my father, he said, we are nothing to do with the decision. He only my son has to take the decision, and my father sent him over to me. So that's what I said. There is no question. I am trying actually to join full-fledged with a salary on a film in film industry. Right now, I don't have a salary. I am getting some other place, postal audit department, but I want to leave that. This is the thing I am doing. Immediately he changed over completely, and he said, no, no, my daughter is very, all the religious thing has gone. Poor man, he was trying to push off his daughter so much. He was very much interested in films. She sees every film every day, all that he was telling. Finally, I said, no, sir, once for all that was over, and he never came back again. So that some interesting things, people asking me for marriage and all that was happening. And here Dongaramudu was released in 1955.